everybody. It's Cinnamon Cootie, your art Sherpa. And today we are actually finishing the koi mermaid we've been working on. I left the photograph references with the painting because I thought that was so cool. Where it looks like, yes, this is all one. But actually, no, these are our photo references. This is the stage we're at right now. We're at Wisteria stage. This is the stage that we're at. We are finishing her up, her hands, her face, her hair, and the wisteria. We're hanging in till she's done because we're already onto the purple pixie and we gotta get going. Is basically what it is. On the husband on the
husband is the mic.
On the husband is the mic.
Hi, Mike.
Are they already? Can you tell this is live?
I'm very balanced.
How is it the networks are not calling? I can't imagine what's going on. Anyhow.
Well, maybe what you don't know is those networks are calling. Did you know that we're now on Black Box TV in the Philippines?
What?
Yep.
Hi, Philippines.
How you doing, guys?
If you see this, Philippines. Hi.
Yeah, that just started. I think like this may be the first one.
I got some artwork you're gonna dig coming up. So we're gonna wrap her up today. We're gonna finish that up. I'm really proud of her. Actually, I really love her. I think this collection is just getting better and better and better as we go. I'm loving seeing what you're doing. The Big Art Quest group on Facebook has been such a joy for me. You guys are one. It's so nice. I love seeing what you're doing along the quest. I can't wait. At the end of the year, we're going to have to all have like a little gallery show where we all make little albums of all 12 of our paintings because I have to see how your collections came out. I'm really excited about mine. So let's jump on in today.
Okay.
As you know, all the information for what we're doing today is in the description below. The materials, the brushes, everything is in there.
We hide them down there.
Yes, I like to hide them down there. I'm going to put out the colors I expect to be using off the get-go, and then we'll see what I have to add to it from the overall palette. This is my Indian yellow. I'm going to put out some zinc white. I find zinc white is very nice to have around for skin tones and that type of work. I'm definitely going to put out some of my quinacridone because you know I love some quin in my skin tone mixtures so much. I will go ahead and put out my burnt umber, my burnt sienna, and my yellow ochre, some titanium white, wow, that paint cap is taped in. I'm going to have to soak that in some alcohol today. It's like, look at this. It's like, you will clean my threads.
Oh my.
At this point, I polished it.
It's so
It's
good.
polished.
You cured it together.
I did. It's now it's ready to be a gemstone. It's so polished.
Although you are nearing the end of that tube's usage.
Yeah, so I'll just clean it up so it's easy to
I know, but I mean, like, you know, its
Yeah,
useful life is only supposed to be for as long as the paint in the tube is there. So.
I do go through mine very quickly, though. You know, I think I'm not saying I'm keeping up with Jim Carrey, but I think I might be keeping up with Jim Carrey and his paint usage.
Although
it's not like we're going to compare notes, so I can just make these random statements into the vacuum of my life.
I do like how he uses it directly from the tube on the.
I'm going to need to grab
surface.
some titanium white from the thing. I'm going to put out my purple. I'm just putting out
like
colors
titanium
today
white.
now.
That was not titanium white.
No, that was my Doc's purple. I'm going to go grab my titanium white.
I just wanted to make sure that my eyes weren't like.
Oh, okay. Some is coming to me mysteriously and magically. Thank you so much. So this is going to be my titanium white. I'm going to put that out. I like to have both. This is much more opaque. Add yellow and maybe some alizarin and my green and my blue and just have some fun. God, yellow. I always put out way more paint than I need. Anyone else do that? Like, paint more than I need. But then I'm not sitting there looking at my palette going, oh, gosh, I don't have it.
It is very pretty out there, though.
Could have put it all out before, but we were doing a technique tune-up on Facebook.
We were.
And then we were covering some important stuff. If you haven't seen the Technique Tune-Up Tuesdays, you got to catch up. There's 3. It's doable. Catch up. Catch up.
And today we're going to finish the koi mermaid.
We're finishing her. She's getting done. One way or another, we are doing her.
So put on your aprons and pull up your easels. Yeah.
We're finishing her up. I got my little brushes out. I got my glasses so I can see. I got my coffee so I got my stamina.
Finish this fish.
She's not a fish. She's a... And I'm rocking the Ursula, so. But I'm not going to steal her. You know, Ursula's like the hero of that story. She was trying to keep that young girl from marrying that very, very flibberty boy who couldn't tell one girl from the next. I mean, if you can't know who saved your life.
Yeah.
That's got to get broken up, and clearly Dad wasn't doing it. All right. Okay, so we've got, I got our, I'm going to put my reference over here close. So I can really see what I'm doing. These are all on our website.
Yep.
And you can download them and print them out so you can see them. I'm going to get my Geordie LaForge style vision enhancers on.
Meow.
I feel this. Like, can you imagine if this came in as your English teacher? I'm also going to take the time to put out my acrylic glazing medium. I'm just going to hold this upside down and see if it'll come out. I'm at the end of the bottle. I literally go through this stuff like water.
I can totally see this English teacher coming out like this after tenure.
Yes. This is an after tenure look.
It's like, you can't get rid of me now.
I'm going to pick up this. I'm going to be working all number 2s and small short handles probably through most of this. This is going to be my big brush today. I'm going to pick up a number 2 Ruby Satin Bright. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit wet, take off the extra water. I'm going to load up with some of my glazing medium. This will help the paint not dry on my brush. If you've never done this, it can really make a big difference in some of your little experiences that you're having. I'm going to get my diamond blade. Nope. I'm going to get one of my trowels out because I don't know where diamond is. And I'm going to make some base skin tone. So I'm going to use a little yellow ochre, some quinacridone. I'm going to mix those thoroughly together for a base skin tone. Do we have that on camera? Oh, good. I just want to make sure we had that on camera. So I could be like there just putting it out and like have none of it on camera.
You know, and it's just as possible for me to space out and be reading chat and not even know that I missed what you're doing because I auto switch with peripheral vision. So
I'm going to mix this into over here.
Should I zoom in a bit on this, or is this good?
This is really good. We just want to see it. What I'm trying to do is get some values and some tones that I can lighten and darken and work with as I go. I'm just taking that base skin mixture and working it into my titanium white. And these will, because we want her to be a little more salmon colored. Interestingly enough, because, you know, it's a fish. So we're changing her up some. I'm going to go ahead and start working this basis right here. So let's work on the arm. You can see this is much pinker than the little wash. I'm going to come here. And we're going to observe our reference photo.
Yeah, since we get that big reference, I'm going to use that rather than my picture-in-picture.
Oh, okay, that sounds fine. We're going to observe our little reference photo. Make sure that it is where we can see it easily. So if you're at your desk at home, just make sure you have it somewhere you can look at it often and go, okay, I see these different things and that's helping me know where my stuff goes. And I'm just taking this base skin tone mixture and I'm going to get the paddle. Fingers, I find are always easier to do. If you've been with me for a while, you know I have this strong feeling about there's this hand paddle and I get my paddle in and then I build the rest of the hand out. Now, if your line got messy, as mine did, you can always come back with a rinsed out brush. Look at that. And sharpen that line as you need to. Get a little more of this base. And I'm going to come here and start to put in my
close up on that just right
base
now.
Tone over here. I probably should flip my palette around. Like literally flip it around.
The palette? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do that. And I'm just getting this layer of base skin tone sort of over everything just real fast. And then I'm going to come back and I'll work values. But what I know is that it's going to help me to have this basically in. Now I'm going to have like a top. I'm not going to do her exact top or her exact crown. I wasn't really that in love with these, but I like the idea of them. So I will probably do some of it, just not all of it. Now, as I'm going to come around here on the belly, I'm going to get right more into the base or skin tone. See how that's almost like the scale color? There's a bit of that to it, even in the shadow. So that's just something we're going to play with as we go. I'll make sure that that's a little bit here and there. Just making that work. Getting those base skin values in. You got to have good skin values. Make your fantasy being look real and part of your world. And again, working our paddle. We'll come back and define the fingers with our small brushes in just a second. We just want to get some paddling in. Paddle, paddle, paddle.
I think I've got a little better picture-in-picture adjustment.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to come in and put some bases in for right here. And I'm actually going to do something unexpected, guys. I'm going to come into my Indian yellow and my green. And this top, I'm actually going to do from a basis of green. We're going to do more like lily pads and flowers than strangely painted gold shells. But you can do either. I like my plan, but I won't give you no shade if you do your own plan. I just think it'll look nicer for her to have more of a flower found object crown.
Yeah.
For the space that she's in. I'm a bit of a costume designer when it comes to my characters. So bear with me as I kind of block her in. I might take this a little bit back into the hair, because it might have a little bit into the hair, right? She's a mermaid, but she's still a fashionista. We don't want to act like she's, limited by any of her stuff. So I'm going to get my CAD red light and I think I'll get right into my burnt umber. I'm going to use this as my basis for my red hair. So that's my CAD red light, my cadmium yellow, and burnt umber. We're going to give her some really special hair. I'm going to come here and start paint the block shape of her hair in. And I might get a little more flowy with some of this at this stage. See how I'm sort of pulling my little strokes to be a little more flowing? I'm going to start to create the style and some of the shape that she's actually going to have. That's the fun for me. And here's that John isn't working so hard to block maybe some of this out. I'm going to bring some of this. We're going to get real about it. You're like, wait, what? I don't want to take away my little koi fish, so I got to be a little bit careful as I'm coming through here. I just want to make sure that I've got a little bit of the hair flowing into the water, so I can feel fanciful. Now, I will have tendrils, I'll have all of that going on here, but to get that, I've got to give it a base that I can build up on. And her hair is going to be quite red, which is why we don't have such a dark base. And it's going to be a little bit fuller than our models, even though our model is quite ample in her hair. There we go. See how I'm creating that little drag down there? The hair is going to come out from underneath the arm a little bit into the water. And flowing out. Yeah, she should probably get a haircut. I agree. That's not functional for a pond this size. I'm going to come around here and make sure that I'm finishing out her hairline along her face just enough. It's important to get these first layers in because when it does finally all come together, it will really help you. See me loading. And then I'll flip my little canvas around so I'm closer to my little skin tones and whip her in real fast. What?
We have we have confirmed that we have pink and purple hair community members. Some of them with daughters who have indeed crazy hair. One daughter being a high school English teacher. So
Excellent.
This is definitely propagated throughout society, and we are supportive of this.
We should be. This is a much better way to live. I wholly support it. I'm going to sip my coffee. I'm going to get her fingers blocked in, and then I'm going to start refining her face shape and some of that stuff. In fact, I may, while I'm here, kind of crop in just a little bit on her face, just so that when I come back, I have a nice time refining her face shape. Because, you know, sometimes we block things in loosely, right? We're like, basically here, 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 and here, and here, and here. You know, but we want something that when they see it on the internets, they go, oh,
the intertubes.
Mm-hmm. We can, while this is having a dry, and I'm having a caffeination. If you have your references.
Which did you see my little reference I put up there?
Did you? Did you have the little?
I have a zoomed in reference.
Oh, cool.
So that gives you like, see how it I think it goes there better if you look at your picture screen.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
All right.
I can move it around.
Number 2, a little Indian yellow and a little phthalo green. I'm going to get this into my burnt umber. And I'm going to make some vines. I probably won't be as heavy, but something.
Oh, I don't really need to. This is all.
You're
all making this up.
Down here.
It's all fantasy.
Yeah.
So I don't need a picture for that. Don't need reference.
No. I'm just enough vines where we feel like we can see it. And we start with, ooh, it's that orange I must have been feeling. Playful. A lot of these are coming so far up off the canvas in this wisteria tree that we might not see everything. So we only have to put in a few.
Next,
and I don't want to take out too much of the work I've already done. So once I have that in, I'm going to get a lot more Indian yellow on my brush and some white. Make sure I light the front of the vines that are coming off the canvas into our space. There's not too many, but we just want to make sure that we've got them so that there's something afoot there. I'm going to go ahead and get my little Indian yellow worked out and some of my phthalo green in there. And at first, I'm going to pull my little zinc. I'm going to take the corner of my brush. Just do these little tap marks to talk about the wisteria leaves that we might have here and there. They're kind of a ladder. And you've got to have some of them or it won't feel like wisteria when you get into the flowers heavily. So you'll find you've got to do the work to put them a couple places. I'm glad everyone's hanging in with me to finish this piece. I'll do a little arc one there. They don't really pull up until you start highlighting them, but you got to get the base deep color in to feel like you saw them later. You know what I mean, jelly beans?
I do.
You do. You've met me. He's met me.
I've been here a couple times.
He's been here a few times. He knows that I've got to put in some green so that the purple feels crunchy. Now, as I'm going, I can get right into this yellow that's happening right here and get into the zinc. And come in and add a little highlight to a few of these leaves that are happening. See how we're tapping in some highlights? Different times, little taps. We want to show that some of this green is here. It's there. And as I'm going, I can pull out even more Indian yellow and then get titanium white, which changes the whole pop of it. When you put it out, it really pulls it forward, as you can see. Not every part of the leaves are pulled forward, just some of them. And I'm pulling some. Some little highlight. Just tap around and look for a little space that might take a little bright leaf. But now I've got some forward leaves and some forward vines that have pulled forward on my canvas. Rinse out really, really, really good. I'm going to come and get a bit of this yellow-green color. And I'm going to begin to drop down just a few. There, I'm pulling these down.
Yeah.
Just pull down, and then you kind of branch out and pull down. We're layering them over. Branch out and pull down. Run out of paint, go dip in the water, reload. Some of that. Now, some of these you can tap a little bit to the edge. They actually have this weird little green end, don't they? Before the purple happens. A little vision enhancers on.
Meow.
Well, the nice thing about being able to pull this stuff all in now, see how we're just kind of tapping these little beads, these little shapes, ends of our vines. And we're adding our purple. We're pulling our wisteria on this magical, magical pond. That little bit there will make some very nice, much needed drama.
Some drama?
Yeah. Because by having this forward-facing thing, we've created these layers. These wonderful, wonderful layers. I'm going to take a little of my purple out and a little of my phthalo blue and my zinc. Now I'm going to come here. I'm going to tap up that vine.
I guess we really don't need the picture-in-picture. I keep by like.
You love the picture-in-picture?
You know, I'm so programmatic to keep it up there because everybody uses it normally, but right now it's not really applicable.
It's really not. I'm pulling my titanium out. Need it to be a bit lighter. On some of them. We're just tapping a little bit of that. A little bit. And it's okay if some is more white and some is more purple, some is more blue. We're just talking about that forward layer of flowers.
Not your hair.
Not my hair.
The forward layers of blue. And
We can come and get a little quinacridone magenta and purple together and some titanium white into it. And then that gets quite purple and bright. You can blend it into some of the blue.
I'm at maximum zoom.
Are you at maximum zoom?
For these cameras, I am.
We're just talking about these little flowers coming off. That flowers here. They're lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Little bits of flowers. You can go way more white with them. You can play it up. You can change it up. You can go darker purple. You can go lighter white. Just talking about these little drops coming from the top of the canvas. There we go. Let's see how that's going. Look on the big camera. So can we see the flowers pulling forward?
Oh, yeah. Definitely see them.
All right. So I pulled a little more of my quin in there. That always creates a little drama we don't expect. We're just continuing to. You'll see me jump around. It's very hard on John, and I try not to, but sometimes I have to because I've got to go with how my brain says, put it here, put it there.
Yeah, you're okay. I'm catching you today.
Are you catching me today? Because I know I'm just leaping.
Yep. Well, actually, it's not so bad. It's generally it's the days where you're going top to bottom, top to bottom. Those are the days where RoboCam's like, I can't move that fast.
I'm trying to kind of change my values a bit. I'm trying to change the mixes a bit. You know, maybe I'll come over here into the blue again.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did that into the zinc and the blue. I look for little spots that maybe have a little bit of color that I could play with. I don't want to take out too much of that work I did, so it could be pretty light in certain areas and then make it a little heavier in others.
Ian was asking, is now a good time to think about putting pearlescent paint in?
If you have some pearlescent paint, you can put it over the dark areas in your canvas. It doesn't really do a fantastic job over light values, but it can be quite dramatic over dark ones. I am just like lifting and tapping, and especially up here, we can be much more playful at the top of the canvas. Like that.
Is that where they allow playground play? Is at the top of the canvas?
Top of the canvas.
Got to keep it
Not
out.
top of the lake. Very depressing.
Playful on the edge of the canvas.
Playful
Or
on the edge of
palette.
the
Or
canvas.
actually, you're working on a gesso board today.
I'm working on an ampersand artboard that has been gessoed. This is archival. It's incredibly smooth. The surface is designed to allow my pigment to be more reflective, which is nice as it goes out.
Now, that was one of the things that we were talking about, is that the surface that we're using it's very important to use the right terminology, because it's very, there are many different ones, and how they're described is important.
There isn't really a one-to-one equivalent to the ampersand. Sometimes people ask me if the speedball is the same, but it is not. So sometimes they're put in the same part of the art store. There's just a different philosophy in how those products are made.
And chemistry that's used to construct, I mean, like ampersand, just I know a bit about them. They're on an acid-free hardboard, and the chemistry that's used to make the gesso surfacing, or whatever surface they're using, whether it's for, watercolor or whatever, it's archival and acid-free, so it doesn't affect the materials you're putting on it at all.
Yeah.
And it's so I know many other products may be able to do that, but you have to check with those manufacturers. And
here's the deal. I'm not aware of one. John's right. There might be another one.
Yeah.
I am only aware of that one.
As am I. That's we just.
But I haven't been to Creative World, so maybe I missed something. But for everything I've been introduced to, that's the one that I am aware of. So you just take that. So you're super happy with it. You don't want to pull out, your background too much because you worked really hard to get it there. But now you have this forward-facing sort of purple drip, which is really lovely. Really, really lovely. Now I'm going to get one of my smaller brushes. Let's take this. This is a #1 round from my ArtSherpa line. I'm going to get into my nice little skin tone here. Oh, and I'm going to do that thing I said I was going to do. So what I'm doing is I'm moving the color that I need closer to me, so it's just a little easier to work is all that's happening. So as I'm coming here, I'm going to be defining my paddle. Just making sure I've got little fingers that are maybe the length I feel like fingers should be. Trying to improve the flow of my paint. I'll be working that in. Always interesting to do a hand. Because they're so highly recognizable, right? But it's so easy to have them go a little bit wrong on you. Resisting filling in areas where the finger wouldn't be. I'm making sure that this is my longest finger. Lots of opportunities in fantasy painting too to play with objects like a hand and maybe make them different, you know, webbed, or if the finger is more claw-like, or lots you can do. I'm actually going to probably just be very handish, just normal amount of hand. I'm going to give myself a little curve for the thumb. But just keep working that till I'm happy with the result. If you guys are not into drawing, don't panic on this segment, because remember, we've got the traceable. I'm going to come in here and I will go ahead and take a little of my burnt umber and my phthalo blue and make a dark color so that I can come around my fingers anywhere I think that there would, one, be a shadow, and two, to help shape everything so that it's more how I would want it to look.
Now, a lot of your secret to making things look realistic has been your layers, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, I'm much more of a layering artist.
I'm always waiting for the day where you're like, nope, you've got that wrong. It's this other thing.
Well, right now it is. If it changes, I'll let you know.
But you know, I have asked these leading questions, and one of these days I'm going to be like, no, you've got it completely wrong. I'm going to be like, no.
It's never been that. I was just tolerating everything. He's right.
No, but seriously, it's your layers, yeah?
Layers are a big deal. And so I'm just making sure that I'm getting the shapes that I'm expecting to have, and all of that as I'm painting. I'm going, just making sure that these objects feel like, so I'm taking this darker value and I'm creating like kind of a cast shadow, if you guys can see that. And I'm using the glaze to make it a little transparent, so that it's just letting the color underneath show through, kind of in the way a shadow actually does. Right? And letting her arms start to have space. You know, always go back in and just work in the fingers. I always think it's fun to work fingers. Enjoyable stuff to me, hands. I think a lot of people find a lot of stress in them, though. And I don't think it's stressful. But I understand what you're saying when you write me letters. So really what I'm going to be doing is a lot of this. This back here will be lighter, and then we'll shade the knuckles. And again, at the top of the finger will get highlight. And then as they come down, they'll get a shadow. And that will help them find their shape in their space. While they're drying, I'm going to come over here. Go ahead and just make sure that I am painting in the beginning of this. There may be many changes as I'm looking, but for right now, I'm pretty happy. Any place that you feel you overpainted, you can always come back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And shadow out. So don't feel panicky or worried about any of it. We're just refining her in at this point. She's here. She's in the space. We've done the tail. We've done these little flowers. You guys can handle this no problem, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and remember, you can always come back, like, you know, with your zinc or whatever, and a little bit of pigment. Not like a lot of pigment, but a little bit of pigment. I'm just going to show you while her hands are drying. And a small brush up on these little flowers. And add another little layer of texture. See how we're doing there? The zinc is slightly transparent. If you're finding that you need that on any of your stuff while it's going through its color shift, it's drying, whatever you're being confronted with, you can pick a couple little flowers and definitely highlight the left side of some of it. See how we're doing? She's looking pretty good. I'll get my little glazy color for the shadow. And I'll come under here and shadow under her thumb. Right? Because, you know, she's blocking some light, right?
Yeah.
With her physical substance, so she might have that. Maybe she's transparent, but maybe she's not. Little glaze. Always check for little drops on your small brushes. They tend to carry them, wick them through. I'm just making sure I've got a little shadow happening in my hand. Even though I know I'm coming back with my skin tone in a second, I just want to put that in there. Just create a little shading. All right. Get my brush wet, grab a little of my skin tone. I'm going to create the little brow line here. Just using my strongest skin tone. And we know she's got a good little cheekbone. I can still see my little sketching about where objects on her face are, so I haven't lost myself in my painting. Just making sure that her little space there, her little jawline there, feels kind of good that way. I'm going to get back into my number 2. I'm going to sip my coffee and I'm going to start kind of coying up some of her skin tone and finish out her face and hair. How are we doing?
Really good.
I think we're gonna finish.
No, actually, I had a real question here. I'm just giving a little.
We're hanging in however long.
Now, the shirt that you're wearing today, that was a drop gift from Teespring, right?
I don't know where it came from. Who gave it? Where did it come from? This is Who Needs Coffee When You Have Dragon Energy. We know it's on Teespring. We're a little unclear on who sent it. Could you let us know?
Yeah. So thank you, Teespring. It just sort of showed up one day.
Whoever got it from Teespring and sent it to us.
Yeah.
Right?
We thank
However
you.
it came.
We appreciate it. It certainly matches Cinnamon's energy.
Can I have coffee and dragon energy?
Mm.
Is that a doable thing?
Yeah. Now,
My eyes like really red.
before you go,
Like they're angry red eyes. Do you see this?
no, it's just they're. You know what? You remember that monitor has some.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If I have an allergic reaction to something, my eyes will shut. I fall down. You know what happened.
Now, when you pull out your number 4 cat's tongue next time, could you show that off?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They hadn't seen one close up. And they wanted to kind of look at that. So just next time you're using that,
There you
make
go.
sure you pull that out.
Because I don't think I'm using one today.
Oh, okay. And that, can you compare that to the number 8? Do you have that next to you?
Da, 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 da.
Okay, that gives them an idea.
There you go.
Do-do-do.
Live
demonstration. Thank you.
lives are so helpful. Where is my mister? My paint's drying because it's hot in here. You said we don't need any AC unit.
I can turn it on.
I don't know. I don't know if we do. I don't know. It might make everything dry faster. I'm not sure.
It's very easy to turn it on. I just saw it. It's behind you. Look behind you.
Okay, so this is a water mister, and this is going to help my paint from drying out so fast on me in this dry heat. It's the dry heat. All right, I feel strongly. I feel very, very strong. I'm going to take a little of my alizarin crimson and my cad yellow with each other. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to make a little bit of maybe a koi pattern here. You guys see that? I feel like that would go up a little bit further. That's the opinion that I have. Mixing my alizarin and my cad together. And I think I'm going to take a little bit on the front of her arm. Now, if you just came here and you're like, what the heck is she doing? Well, if you've been here from the beginning, you knew I was threatening to do this all along.
You have a plan. You know, it's so funny. The
plan inside my mind.
This is a good example of how these colors these pigment densities just look neon.
Yeah.
They, and as you can see that when they're in high density under good lights, they reflect so much light. It can look like it's oversaturating the camera. It's just they're that pigment dense.
That is actually true.
And you can see by the the colors next to it that they're all this is I'm just so floored by how really cool some of this turns out.
I'm gonna just keep pulling that because I just want her koi to be like everywhere.
Koi. A freshwater mermaid.
She is. There's a skin condition where you lose the pigmentation of your skin. And I have a little bit of that. You guys don't see it. I have a little bit of that. One of the things is when you're really fair, it's hard to tell. You only see during the sunburn. Anywho, so this is kind of my homage to that, if that's the thing you've got going on in your life. This painting speaks to you. I know it does.
Freshwater mermaids not so much in the sun.
Well, she can be.
But perhaps
she uses kelp as a sunscreen.
Perhaps with more solar protection.
I'm just working that out.
Under the umbrella.
I can't help myself. All right, little brushes. I pulled out a bunch of them because I knew I was going to need them. I'm going to get my number 2 Filbert. I know you guys know I love this one so much. And I'm going to get a little of my Indian yellow into this mix. I'm going to keep lightening it. I maybe with the titanium. So that's now the zinc and this is the titanium. Got to. Like right here. And make sure that I'm getting that edge under her eye, and on her cheekbone is a light area. Got kind of a light area at her chin, another light one at her nose. So I'm just starting to work out my values. Definitely make sure we got a couple little highlights on her bosom. Can't help but what Sheldon Cooper might say. I'm going to go into my dark skin tone, and I'm going to get a little of my burnt umber, and that's how I'm going to darken it for shadow. You can also add either Doc's purple or a little of the blue to create your shadow skin tone. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, can you go get Miss Thing? She has lost her mind. I'm just adding my shadow that I know is going to be underneath my chin, coming down the neck a little bit, right? Because the neck casts the shadow. So I'm still under all my obligations to create my shadows. I'm loading up again. At both, my eye socket and at the base of my nose. Always okay to put those values back. Just creating a little bit of that. We're just talking about our big broad strokes of light and shadow. No, it's totally okay.
A little unswitched. You know what? I need to have a emergency palette button. I think I need. I think I have one. Let me see if I can find it.
Now I'm gonna just create.
There it is.
Come in here. I just want to. I'm having a little trouble getting my shadow values in, so I think I'm gonna get these in and then come back and put my highlights in. That will actually be easier for me if that makes sense to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the brown and the blue. There we go. Shadow skin tones. Or scale tones. I'm not really sure how she would identify in herself.
Let me see.
Gonna just tap a little bit of the shadow in right there.
I'll leave it right up there for you for a minute.
And then there's a little bit right there. Coming under the jaw. Creating that darker value. I may even, I'm like right here, adding a little shadow here. So what I'm looking for is places that I would have a deeper value. They go under her outfit. I'm going to get a little more, getting a little more of my glaze. I'm going to come under the arm. Starting to talk about a little bit of this, right? So the glaze is so helpful to me, I just can't even tell you. And even in the back. Yeah, I'm coming along the back, just glazing this. Just enforcing a little bit of a shadow value. And come across the front of the knuckles. A little more glaze, guys. Glaze is your friend. Grabbed a little more glaze. Just a little more glaze. I'm going to come right here to the inside of the wrist. I'm also going to glaze this shadow right here. Just making sure that there's some dark values that we're looking at. Getting her built up slowly, one skin value at a time. So I've got my skin tone here, and I've just added water to my palette because as it's drying, I don't want to lose it. I come right here. Say that there's some sunlight. Focus sunlight right here. Softly blending. I'm just using soft little strokes to blend. Everything about what's happening between now and the end of this painting is going to be catching these little values. Always, always, always catching these little values. Now I may also add some scale textures. I may do some of that other stuff. But it's really going to be about, can I catch the little values that I know I'm going to be working with. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. So I am coming along the front of the arm, creating a little highlight right there. Right there. We've got some nice shadow value there. I'm going to get right into this shadow value on my palette. I'm going to do some interesting things. I'm going to get my number 1 round. I'm going to come under what is essentially her nose, tapping in a little bit of a nostril, pulling just a bit of that shadow down. Now, the top lip will have more shadow than the bottom lip, right? Of its placement. So the next shadow comes under her base lip. Isn't that crazy how that just goes in?
Yeah.
Right. In here, I'm going to talk a little bit about this eye. I'm just going on to be a little more shadow, like maybe right here. A little bit right there. Put in a little eyebrow. We all know how eyebrows are super important after Jon Snow, don't we? If you're like, wait, what, Jon Snow? I'm like, oh, you don't know. We'll have to do a redemption video on him someday. I'm just coming along. I'm just trying to create these structural areas, the shadow areas that I've got to deal with. Loading my brush up with glazing medium so the paint doesn't dry out on me as I do this little bit of fussy work. So for me, the big thing is always making sure that whatever I've got going on in my eyes, they're at least on the same plane across the head. Dipping in water and reloading because it's not coming off my brush nicely on the number 1. Come along the side of her face. Put that deeper shadow on the hair against her face line. I may even come get a little more brown, a little more pigment. You'll find that depending on the lighting, it can be real helpful to shadow the hairline along the 3/4 face view. Not always applicable, but when it is, it really is. You guys seeing her come in?
Yeah.
Crazy how it happened.
It is.
I'm going to come under the chin. Under. Just down right here. So now we've got this nice deep shadow, right? I will be bringing lots of little hair tendrils all around. But again, we're just creating that space, that volume. That we know we're going to be contending with in a little bit. And then we're going to sip our coffee as soon as we get this eyebrow in. Obviously, looking at my face, I have some feelings on eyebrows, my blue eyebrows. So I'll just try to make sure that I have that going over here too. Getting this dark tone underneath. So it's interesting. What I'm doing here is actually paying attention to where I think I want my brow line. And I'm darkening where the skin is, and then I'll come over with the brow line color. Making sure that I've got these little glazed values. All right, I feel like I've got her placements much better. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah.
And we've got her koi pattern a couple places, but not in a way that takes away from her mermaidy beauty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to scale her skin a little bit, a little pearlescent. I'm going to definitely scale where the orange is and stuff. But I think what we're going to find is that just makes her really fantastical and amazing. Let's take a deep breath. I'm going to miss my thing. If you have any questions, it's a good time to ask. I know there's a delay, so I'll drink my coffee for a second so John can get them, and then we'll get into the next block. It's a good time if you need to go to the restroom, if you need to rock out your shoulders. We've been at it for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think like cutting my hair has made my head like bobblier.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have it like long or heavy. So I don't know how like if you have like that really thick braid hair and then you like cut it, how you do it. Because my head's been like.
Now, how often should you be changing your paint? I mean, your paint, your water.
Now would be actually a good time for me to change my water. If you have a lot of light colors, or if you are working skin tones or brights or yellows, change often because the pigment in the water can get into your paint and affect your values. And so it's really good to be like, I want to change it often. Things you might not know about acrylic paint. The residue of it can stick to your pipes as you're pouring it down the sink, and it can be an issue over time. My mom's sink definitely took, that was like years and years and years and years and years and years of continual use on some not great trapped plumbing. You know, your basic garage sink, it's not such a big deal. Many people have water reclamation stuff that they do, and that's perfectly acceptable. Basically, once the paint is dry and in the bottom of the water.
Yeah.
It's okay. Weird things you might not know. There's a really good article on just paint on how to clean your water. If you're very green-minded, there is absolutely a way to do that.
Coffee. I'm gonna get my coffee.
So the EU did a bunch of studies on artists and our impact and cadmium and stuff like that, and decided that there's not enough of us to be resoundingly impactful yet. We would be, but we're not. We could be.
So I'm gonna go big over here. We're gonna put a little bit of scale value on her skin here.
Yeah. So we've still got a good bit to go. Take a deep breath, coffee up, take a restroom break if you need one. Actually, I might get one. You want to put our break on? Do we have that?
Oh, hold on. Let me find the right button.
It's just a good time to do it.
I think what I can do is we can take a 3-minute intermission if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let the Sherpa
hydrate, go to the restroom, stretch your back, deep breath. Know that she's a big project that is generally never even offered to newer painters, and the fact that you're even doing her makes you an Iron Man of art.
Okay, so here we go.
Says my crazy.
Right, ready?
Yes. Okay.
White sand, blue bay, hand in hand, slept there for days. Light wind, gray haze. Eye to eye, we parted ways. Meet me under the ocean. Save me from soft stepped hard shells, shallow whispers in deep swells. Help me catch my breath, we're getting higher. Imagining your face, you're my desire. Meet me under the ocean. Save me from surface rejection. Tell me you crave my affection. Forever be waves of my ocean. Take me back to where it all began. Show me myself without the shell. When beauty was enough to save you from yourself. Make me under the ocean. Save me from surface rejection. Tell me you'll crave my affection. Forever be waves of my ocean.
Hey guys, am I
Hello.
back?
You're back.
Okay. We had a little trouble getting mute turned back off.
Sorry. Huh.
We were like, oh goodness, are we going to be muted the rest of the show? So let's take a minute and assess where you're at. She's looking pretty good. I think she's great. Areas as we're going forward, because, we're going to get her to a resolution place and we're going to stop. But places that you're going to be able to continue to play is like in the flowers and their lighting. You could play with splashes and water droplets. I'll show you a couple things. Like, I could do another 100 hours on her. It's like crazy how deep you can go into a painting. But the thing is just sort of understanding what's involved in the construction of this type of art and how we get there. And I've missed it a bit. I'm going to put my vision enhancers on and continue on my journey a la art. So all of this is drying. I'm going to think about her hair again a little minute. So I'm going to get right back into my, cad red that I like so much. And my yellow. And that mix and how that goes into my burnt umber. I love these little mixes very much. It creates a very almost unreal, fantastical red hair. I make sure that I've got a little bit of the highlight up here that I'm building up. As we're going, like you do. On the edge of my brush, kind of doing that S stroke that I'm so fond of. You guys know how I like me a good S stroke. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to get a little of my alizarin into that shadow color that I have. And I'm going to want to make a hair shadow color. Because at her part, it would be darker. Coming up. And then she would also have some of that going around. And I may have to get right into my brown stuff here and start to work some of that basic hairology. If you did the big art quest last year, we did a lot about hair, didn't we, guys?
Yeah.
We were like, we even went Guy Tang. That's how serious about our hair we got.
That's true.
Only thing we didn't do that I thought we should have done is maybe something on some of the guys' hair.
Now,
I'm just making sure that my part has some dark values, and I'm just building up the flow and texture of what I expect her hair to be. And I'm going to darken areas where it's close to her skin, where it might be in a deeper shadow. See how I'm doing?
I do.
Even right into the water stuff.
Whoop.
Like, look at that. We're going to darken that right there. And we're making sure that there's these dark values where there needs to be dark values. I'm going to pull a little bit of this back. Every shadow that you pull in actually is what creates the line of your tress. Tresses are about shadows and highlights, not individual hairs. Though that doesn't mean that we won't paint some individual hairs as we're going. Of course we will, right? Right next to the rock. Everything around this rock could be in quite a deep value space, because she would be blocking a lot of light with her body. You're about to ask me a question, babe, and I interrupted you.
Oh, no, it's okay. It was sort of an off-topic question.
Oh, I'll answer an off-topic question.
I could not remember
if your life depended on it.
who
Because it
made
does. No, I'm just kidding.
who makes your makeup you're wearing today.
Oh, please let me share with you this.
Okay.
Too Faced.
Okay, there we go.
Did you guys remember that really insane live I did in my group? This is the, you guys were like, what did he get her? This is the festival collection. This particular color I'm wearing on my lip is Unicorn Tears. And this is the festival palette. I don't know. It's for girls that go to Coachella. I'm not going to Coachella. I'm definitely more of a Burning Man girl. But that said, I need some glitter in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who does all this for me. Though that's not why my eyes are at all remotely red. I think I've just forgotten to blink. That happens. Sometimes I forget to blink. Just making sure I've got my deep values where I want them. So when I come back with my lighter one, so fun for me. I've so kidnapped John's day.
No, this is great.
It's like, did you need to do anything else today? Because you're not gonna. All right. I'll let all that rest for a minute. You'll notice that I do that a lot. I'm like, let's let that rest. Let's let this rest. But the reason for that is, let me get my white, my titanium white, into this fabulous gray color of burnt umber and phthalo blue. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this inside my eye space here. Like you do. I love my little rinse, 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 rinse noise. It just makes me super happy. On my base skin tone and fix her little chinny chin chin. See how I fixed that line?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that all the time. There we go. Got a little bit of a highlight there, so I'm going to get right back into that. I'm going to come on the front of the neck. Maybe right here on the top of the bosom. Just creating a little highlight. Maybe again at the shoulder. See how there's almost that yellow into it? I'm just trying to put a little sunlight on my girl. Go ahead and get a little of my base skin tone and blend all that in. That's a little bit softer. Softly brush over that shadow. My paint's a bit, ooh, here, check it out. My paint's a bit translucent and that helped me. And then you can even come into like say your zinc. Keep working those skin tones. Lights and darks, lights and darks. And I'm just looking for those shadows. I hear John typing furiously, so I guess he's answering a question.
So I guess now that you've called me out, I won't even type it. I'll just say it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were asking what the name of the music was in the intermission video.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually called Ocean, and we licensed that music through one of the many premium companies that we license music from, and there isn't a public version available. I just looked. So
it's so frustrating. I know I've had to answer that one too. But it's
yeah.
like, no, there's no public version, and I'm so sorry.
But what I think I probably can do is maybe over on our website, I will upload the intermission 3-minute video and put a link up there so that if people want to be able to go watch that 3-minute video again, then they'd be able to see that.
Yeah.
So that might be a handy thing for some folks.
I'm taking a little quinacridone and I'm rosing up the bosom. That shadow, if you guys can see that. I don't know if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
I like
rosy upper shoulder with a little glazed quinacridone.
It's a little quinacridone.
It's a little quinacridone. I'm going to take a little of my zinc
and that's
right on top of the shoulder here, just continuing to lighten where it might see the sun. Yeah, isn't that fun? Warm it up. Just going to play with her till I'm happy, folks.
Yeah, keep going.
This has got a today. She ends. No, it's just we're on to our pixie, so we've got to find our way through. Just using my base skin tone, which I'm going to come through here over the shoulder. Again on the top of the arm. Get a little more of the quinacridone into our mix. I love the quinacridone, I really do. And let's come on the top of the hand, back into the shadow that we had earlier with this quin. Isn't that great? It's almost like a grisaille, isn't it? For those of you guys that did the 2016 quest. We just lightly brush these values. Brush, 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 brush. So one thing that I can do is I can take a little of I love my Indian yellow and my white. A very bright color. I've got some skin tone mix in it. And make sure that I've got some of the knuckles lit. Now maybe a little bit on the top of the hand here. What are we looking for? We're looking for the highlights. We're looking for those values, right? If we're not getting a good blend, that's why we get into our glazes, because our paint is dried. But we as acrylic artists, What are you doing, babe?
I was checking something.
Oh, you were checking to see if it was something we could do?
Well, actually, we already have this music video put together, and Jacob was just pointing out that the Weeping Mermaid watercolor that you did, we used that same song in.
Yes.
And there's a time lapse of that, and I was just posting up a link for that time lapse.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm just making a lighter value skin tone. I'm coming back into my fingers. Making sure my knuckles are well represented. A little more of my quinacridone into this mix. I love the quin.
You can tell.
I'm going to make the fingers just a little bit pink from the tip to the mid-knuckle, guys. I'm also going to take a little of this color kind of into her nose and a bit around her eyes. And add a smidge of it to her lip. Maybe just right here at the bust line where it goes on hit the green top. So we should have like kind of rosy fingers and should be getting kind of interesting. I'll use this slightly rosy tone for the hand here and the shadow. And we'll have a shadow here where the wristlet would be, but the rest of that probably would be in a bit of light because it's where the hand is exposed. If you think about where something is, I can always get right into my shadow color, right? And come definitely here where the hair and the arm meet and along the edge where the arm and the rock are. If you're having trouble with the blend, you can always use your glaze to soften that line out. I know sometimes this is like, maybe not like very like exciting TV, but this is how we get there, guys. This is how we get there. I just say this as somebody who like has dealt with ADD my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably why my videos are the least ASMR.
You know, I think that a lot of people relate to that. I know that we've got a lot of personally people going through the ADHD, ADD experience, and many of us now with children,
Yes.
grandchildren that are going through those experiences.
We certainly have one or two or three. I'm doing my Indian yellow into my base skin tone with a lot of zinc or titanium white, depending on where I'm going to put it.
Dobermans don't breed poodles.
That's what I always say to my husband. Dobermans don't breed poodles. Actually, I say pit bulls don't breed poodles. Pit bull's actually a really good dog. No shade towards pit bulls.
American Staffordshire Terriers rule.
American Staffordshire Terrier gets way too much shade that it doesn't deserve. That is really all about bad breeding and bad dog owners.
I really like a Doberman. I mean, dog looks like he's walking around in a suit, and he means business. Or she. Not gonna
like
throw
they
shade.
Showed up dressed, right?
They showed up ready to work. They're like, no,
work,
I'm here.
Work it, girl. Work. Sorry. I think I'm channeling my inner RuPaul.
That's okay.
Who is a genius.
I agree. RuPaul wants to come paint with us. I would welcome
Anytime. Anytime. I'll come right up to the runway. You just show me how to do a taped corset, and I'm there. Show me any tricks. Any tricks. And you got a private art, dude. I'm just trying to create these little highlights where I feel like, you know, her hands or fingers. Do you like how it's like a little blushed?
I do.
I love it too. Just get a little blushed. All right. I'm going to mist everything. Work on the hair a little more.
I was just singing in soprano, missed it.
Missed it.
I don't know why. I think it's probably the third or fourth cup of coffee influencing my better judgment.
I think my project judgment got I'm like, this is fun. We'll just do this together. We'll meet like 4 times, right? Sure. A little more of my quinacridone light, red light in my yellow out. Trying to get some values of these 2 mixes sort of worked out so that when I bring the burnt umber over, as I want to do, getting some great value. Keep working my hair.
Okay.
Again, it's about finding the light and shadow. I'm wanting to see her tresses. I'm blending. Because she's got to build up too. To do like this gorgeous, gorgeous hair, I really got to build it up. I think I need a little more of my red into it. Just coming down here. I love the part where it goes into the water.
Oh, I missed that one. There it goes.
There we go. I'm going to add some more of the hair into the water. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Just pulling it around. You know, just get the CAD where you need it. Wonderful thing is that we've got a crown up there, so you don't have to be too panicked about what's happening in that space. I think she's getting mermaidier by the minute. Anybody else?
Yes.
So I'm making a darker value because I want to blend some of this coming down. I'm going to get a lot more red into the mix. Pull here and there. See how we're doing? We're just finding these edges.
I do.
We got these reflections, don't we?
Edges. I see
Not the
them.
same kind of edges as like at the back of my neck, but you know.
Edgy. Your back of
Edgy.
your neck is edgy.
Edgy. Well, actually, no, it's good edges. Had a really good stylist. Thank you, Nene. Okay. So I'm pulling this.
She had serious clipper skills, like
did.
barbershops.
Like
Clipper
that,
skills.
that's like her background.
Yeah. See, clipper skills. Okay.
Keep working that. If I lose anything I need, I can always put it back. But my trick is like I want to get this hair.
She's looking a little creepy right now with those eyes.
No, she's not.
She's looking a little
beautiful.
like,
I could do those
I
eyes.
see your soul.
Well, first of all, don't mess with me because I could do them jet black.
That's true. I guess you could always up the creepy factor.
Up the surreal, mystical factor. She's not creepy.
No, she's not creepy, but she could be.
Don't fear the different expressions of feminism. Don't fear it.
I'm not. It's definitely the blank-eyed stare there that's got me wigged out.
Oh, don't wig. No wigging.
It's that 1,000-yard stare into your soul that she has with no pupils going on.
She's working on it. She's trusting me. I'm getting my glaze. I'm going to do just a couple little between the finger shadows. Along the finger. See what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Adding a little value. So that as we're going forward, we've got the shadows that we need to show our little hands. That's what we need.
Someone declared she's Crinaeae.
You have no idea how funny that is in my husband and I's history. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to load up with my titanium. and at the tip of each finger, I'm going to tap in the smallest hint of a nail bed. Can you guys see that? This is me being super fussy, but let's go for it. Top a little bit. Just coming in, adding the smidgiest smidge. Just blending out those values, right? Take a little zinc, soften that line. Just soften the lines where we need to. Now I'm going to get a little of my alizarin and a smidgy smidge of my phthalo blue. I'm going to cool this down quite a lot. I'm right here along where the hair is. We're just adding this little bit of shadow. Get a little more of the glazing along the hairline for this. Side of the arm. I'm going to get my glaze of my shadow color. I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to make sure that I've given myself a little elbow shadow. Make sure this is a little bit not as bright as the rest of our skin tone.
It's really crazy how cool these colors. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I really like the colors.
Me too! All right, so we're going to start playing with our reds and our yellows. I'm going to start tapping out a little bit of my scaling. How we're doing?
Yeah.
I'll mist if I need to. It's my palette and I'll mist if I need to. This is art.
Clearly.
Popping in a little bit of the scale texture. A little bit here. And you can see I'm kind of pulling this out and even the edge. Pulling this into my shadow, layering these in together. We get some of my just plain quinacridone and maybe even a little of my burnt umber can sneak in there, a little of my alizarin. Something to cool it. Sure that we've got the little stomach here. it back and examine it. Loading it with some just quinacridone. I'm going to come along my little bodice here. Some of these brighter, pure pigmented areas pour into. You guys see those?
Yeah. I see it in high definition, robotic camera view. I wish it could be zoomier though. Just a little bit.
Yeah, me too, but it's still a fun idea that we're exploring, isn't it? So she's a big one. Thank goodness the purple pixie is not as much. Right? Okay, so we're going to get a lot more of our yellow into this and our CAD. Come over to our yellow. CAD, yellow. So this lighter value scale, we're going to put right in the center here. And then it'll be and right here to this outer edge where it might have picked up a little highlight. Maybe right there on the forehead. And for sure at the top of the arm. A little bit right there. I'm going to get my zinc. Actually, no, I might even go full titanium into my yellow. I'm going to tap this along the forearm. Who's feeling playful?
I think
Right here.
everybody is a bit here.
Should be. A little bit right there, right? Now we got to get her out of that stare that has disturbed John.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my burnt umber.
She looks like she may have been too far north. Beep boop. That was Ed209, our security robot, letting me know that someone has violated the perimeter of this studio.
I'm going to add a little bit of a pupil on this side and the other side. Darkening. I'm probably going to switch to a much smaller brush once I get this in. And you guys know how I do the eyes, so you know it's like all on like Donkey Kong through here.
Yeah.
First, let's get a little of my zinc and white. And make sure that we're coming to the top of that cheekbone and a little bit on the chin and mark my palette. We got to start shaping stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's serious biz, okay? Serious biz. The biz is no longer kidding. Get all my details and get to it. So first, I'm going to make a little more of my shadow color. my phthalo blue. And just sort of thoroughly mix these two together, right?
Yeah.
We know that's what we're using for shadow. We can, while we're letting all this have a dry so we can come at it really hard, we can take a little of this over to our green. And make sure that we come under this part of the bust and this part down the lower half with more of a shadow. Darkening that up, right?
Yeah.
And then you can always come in and get a little of your Indian yellow. And just make sure you've got beginnings of a highlight here. We've got a lot of plants and things to put out, but it'll help you find the shape of everything. Starting to shape it up. We'll do that like with all like little leaves and petals and something matching on her hair. Okie dokie. Back into our shadow. Get your glaze if you need it. I know I will. And I'll even wet my palette so my paint is not so dry on me. Get into it. I'm not even sure my Geordie LaFour vision enhancers are enough for the detail work here.
I'm at maximum zoom, Captain.
Are ya?
Well, I'm at maximum natural zoom. I can artificially zoom some more. Let me see what I can do.
Oh no, you're okay.
Dun 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 dun.
You're not my Geordie LaFour, it's just my glasses that I wear.
I can zoom a little bit more. There. Just while you're doing this little part.
Yeah. Now, as I'm going, I'm going to get some glaze. I'm going to take my top half of my eye. Definitely get a thin shadow going down there. The reason is that the lashes, the light, everything sort of creates this little shadow space that we've got to contend with as artists. And so a lot of what I do is about making sure I get that in. You see I'm tapping that in?
Uh-huh.
Glazing, tapping, just putting that in. So later, it's there.
You know, I feel like zoom is a lot like cowbell. You just can't have enough of it.
I think you can have enough of both. I'm going to get some of my titanium white. Maybe a little of my skin tone. I'm going to make sure that I tap like almost a scale-like texture. Can you guys see this? Up above her nose into her forehead. Maybe also a little bit here. It's like this little kind of tapping. Just trying to make sure that the implied texture is there. Get a little of my Indian yellow. Titanium white. Try to work this up over the lid. I think I've lost a little of the shadow that I need, but I'm going to come back and get it back in a second. Right here at the corner, I'm going to add some of this highlight. Maybe up here at the brow. Anyone see that?
Yep.
Hopefully, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. up the forward of this
Okay,
particular
so
lid.
I'm gonna do more zoom. So hold on.
I'm so sorry, guys. I know this is like really tight value work
I
here.
can get in there though.
I'm going to even make sure that this lip is got a yellow little highlight happening here so that we are really, really, really. I'm going to get my skin tone up into my white. I might even grab a little quinacridone into that mix. But I need it to be very light. So that the top of the nose, a little bit of this far nostril, certainly down the bridge. And I'm going to glaze out a little of that shadow. Can you guys see me glazing that out?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to glaze out a little of that strong red I put there. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm softening some of my lines. I'm playing with some of my values so that I can refine this part of her face. Bringing this little shadow down. What's funny?
It's just Mona was like, she got so into watching the painting she forgot about Chad. And I was laughing because I had the exact same thing happen. I was like,
oh, is it? It's, well, I hope it's somewhat interesting.
Oh, it's very interesting. And I've got the zoom really. See, if you look over at your screen, just don't move your hand. Look over your shoulder.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just come get a sip of coffee. Just a second.
I'm like it uber zoom, so you can really see like you're putting like mascara and like is it eyeshadow? Is that what you call that?
No, we're just defining that it'll have the effect of what we mere mortals try to do with our mascara and
See?
our eyeshadow. Oh, good. She looks good.
Yeah, you can zoom.
I know this is a lot. And this is really about tools and time and grade, right?
Oh, yeah. Got to do the work to make the layers.
Do the work to make the layers. A girlfriend ain't going to be happening for you. Now, I am going to go find my... Oh, here's some.
What is it?
Fluid white.
Oh, good for us to know.
I usually don't put any of it out this early, but I need to do a couple of things to really get her to happen. So I'm going to come underneath this lid and make sure that I've got this sort of in there. And then see on the inside of that, there she has some of that. So and then I'll get my black back in. I just have to do it because I lost it a little bit. And sometimes you lose it a little bit, and then you got to come back with just the tip of your brush. Edge that. See how I'm edging that in now? Don't need a lot of it. What I need, I for sure need. I'm just going to keep working my value. Keep working my values. I'm just getting there. Just starting to anyways. So I'm coming down. I'm not really putting in an iris as much as I'm putting in the shadow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what's happening. So we're just working that. I'm going to take a little of my quinacridone and, interestingly enough, my Indian yellow. I'm going to come to the top part of my lip.
Now, your hand is really super steady there.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, I am bridging on my canvas. I could make a bridge with my wrist. I could have a maul stick. Like this is like a homemade maul stick. But I'm steadying my hand by resting it. My paint is dry. This is like... So, full candor. You're not supposed to rest your hand on your stuff like that. But I have found it's not realistic for me to not do that. I don't fight it anymore.
Now, there's some science behind that. I'm not going to pick on you, but the oils that are in your hand will get on
Yeah.
the acrylic, and that can cause some minor binding issues. Not enough,
Huge deal on watercolors and hand rendered pieces.
not something that you guys are probably going to have to worry about as students or anything like that. It will naturally be something that as you get into,
Yeah, this is a conservative problem.
yeah, this is something that when you start worrying about the chemistry of your paint, you'll be aware of this. But for now, just paint.
Just paint.
Just enjoy
Rest
your
your
paint.
hand, just paint. I've
Yeah.
got a light pink here. I'm going to come to this bottom lip.
Which brush are you using?
I am using my #1 ArtSherpa. The reason why I was like, please make me some details to go in the set. I'm going to come to the top of the bow of the lip. Yeah, I've highlighted the bow.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the nose kind of in hand a little bit. I may come and glaze out another layer of skin tone over that shadow. Right?
Yeah.
Or glycine, right? Just, I want it there for sure. I just want to soften it a bit. And once I have that softened, I'm going to get my white. Guys, we are literally coming to like a possible end of this.
Oh my. And actually, we've not been on too long.
Really?
Yeah, it's hour and 45 minutes.
That's not bad. I figured she was about 2 from done.
Yeah, we'll probably be, I'm guessing, another 10 minutes before you wrap it up, yeah?
Oh, yeah, more than that, but yes.
But, so yeah, about 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2
It's not gonna
hours.
be bad.
Okay, I'm making a bright yellow. I'm coming to the middle of the lid right here, and I'm lightening this. See that? Maybe right there. Pretty good. What?
They're just saying the brush you're using is so tiny it looks like it has 5 hairs on it.
It does, and it moves everybody pee. All I waited for my whole life.
Is this tiny?
Tiny little brush. I am lighting the curve of the nose. Let's see how we're doing. Good, she's looking okay.
Oh yeah. She's looking good.
Okay, I'm going to do kind of a crazy thing while I'm here. I'm going to get my shadow color. I'm going to come right down her part.
That kind of gives you the shape of her head there.
Yeah. I'm going to just make sure that that is defined out in some way, right? Otherwise, she got no part. That's weird. She can be coy. She can have scales. She just has to have a part, dude. I'm just defining this a little bit. Even though we're going to put a little flower crown here, even though a lot is happening, we still have to make sure she's got the values that we need. She's got to have good old Addams Family values. You know, might be marrying it. Eddie Munster hair. I don't know. I've been watching too much Veronica Mars.
I don't think that's possible.
Maybe. Oh my goodness. All right. So you can see we're starting to catch her little value set, right? How are we going to work her out? I'm going to get a little of my white. Shh. Girl, you worked me. But I'm okay with you now. I'm going to give you some hair. I'm getting that very wet so that I can get some fine lines going with my pure CAD, like I'm going to want. I want a lot of pigment, but I need it to be thin enough to fly off my brush. No getting around this work, guys. right, we're continuing to go. We're just thinking about our mermaid. I know she was a long bit of kit. But how mermaidy does she seem now?
Pretty darn mermaidy.
Right, and I'm following this little...
One could say she matches your hair.
Would say that. Or at least my natural hair. Actually, it's more of a strawberry blonde.
You were. That's true. I have the photos.
That's right.
Do, 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 do. I has all the secrets.
It's so weird. I love you.
I do. I also have photos of you running around in Disney overalls
You do.
through many national parks as we ran around the world.
Now, I'm going to get a little of my green over to my Indian yellow. I'm going to go ahead and get some of my titanium white involved in this. I'm going to just make sure this top has a bit of a leaf feel to it. Actually, no, I'm thinking of it. I'm doing little leaves, but it would have been fun to also do it as lily pads. But the tendency to want to make that almost comical would have overwhelmed me, so it's probably good I didn't. Because it'd have been like 2 pink flowers. As I'm coming back, I'm just adding some darker green leaves. But you can see how this is now taking on sort of a plant feel, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I can easily put the orange back, so I'm going to just come here, make sure I've got this in shadow as well. Sort of leafy. And you can take this moment to get a little of your quinacridone purple mixes or whatever, right? And a little zincs. Isn't that lovely? Now it feels like it has a little bit of flower to it, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
To the end of the mermaid. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I just really did not like the gold.
Aslan
You're
loves it.
welcome to gold if you do. I just did not. Now I'm going to do like a little kind of loose crown up here. And then I'll come back and finish the hair over this and around the crown. So first I'm going to take a little of my Indian yellow, but with just a smidge of my phthalo green.
Aslan loves the idea of the 2 big flowers. Like, yes, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
And you guys, you can link your completed photos up to the project pages linked in the description down below. So if you
can we now?
Yeah, out on our website, if you've painted one
That's
of these
new.
paintings, it is a new thing. You can leave a comment in the project page down below and link in your picture.
Yes! So for those of you who are like, Facebook, no, I swear I've had more community damage through Facebook than anything. So if you also are like, oh, Facebook, you can now share your artwork there.
Yep, right
and
up
give
on our...
love there.
Click on the link in the description down below. That'll bring you to our website, and you can just attach the photo that you've done of this painting right there on that page, and we'll all be able to see it.
I am loving that plan.
Now, there were a couple of questions about, had you thought about webbed versus non-webbed fingers?
Yes, very much.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think if I was just doing this for myself and she was not part of a class and I was going to spend the full like 200 hours on her, yeah, I might web her up.
Yeah.
I also would have petals falling down and water droplets coming off of her, and there'd be ripples out into the pond. It would get real
Yeah.
fast. I'm going to get my titanium white into this bright color.
That's so pretty.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Just loosely mixed of the purple, pink, and white. I can.
Flowers.
That's right. Needs a little flower in her hair, but I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Okay. I like that. That's pretty great. She's pretty great. Finish out her little tendrils of her little hair. I told you to put that back real easily, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love her. Does anyone else love her?
Oh, yes.
She
I think
was
everybody's loving her.
She was a hard labor for sure, but
Now, you're using a lighter highlight now on
yes.
her?
Yes, a bright, like a pure pigmented, taking out little hairs.
And yeah, and you're doing that that's giving that ultra highlight look to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. But if I were to say be really punchy, I'd get my iridescent gold deep fine.
Ooh. So you skipped the yellow and went straight to the gold.
Oh, I can, can't I?
Yeah.
A little in her crown. Yes, I am. And I might have gold leafed her. Again, if I was going to do the 200 hours.
Leaf.
Who loves that?
I'm loving it.
So if you get too much of it, come in with an edge brush like a bright. Thin it out. Don't ever panic. Because panicking allows your paint to dry. Then you need to panic. So don't let your paint dry. Just breathe in real deep, edge it out, come back again. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, as you move around her, the gold hairs then become more noticeable as part of her tresses. And I think it'll be very important to have one come down here and to the water. And then maybe a little bit off here. Oh, I love her. She's so pretty. Pretty, pretty little mermaid. I'm gonna put a little tiny gold fleck in the back of your eye. Well, because she's not, not a person. She's a mermaid. So she's got gold scales. Reflections of her. She's got gold hairs. She doesn't need no gold crown. She is gold. Just to watch out for hunters, I would want to mine her hair and do her harm. They don't know she's got teeth. And I just add a little reflection to the top of her head. All right, I think I think she's special.
I think that's pretty phenomenal.
We survived.
Now,
And I'm telling you, I've been on the internet. I'm signing her in gold. I'm so excited.
Okay, I'm gonna catch that. Ooh. I want to do a close up pan around to her though.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Because she's been a real journey for all of us, huh?
That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna come back over here and I want to just sort of come up here because this is.
I feel like dropping the
Really?
mic and like just walking off all like, yeah, that's how it's done, son.
I mean, because if you look at those flowers up there coming down here, that waterfall, all the little fishies, and like the what do they call those? The lily pads in the background.
Wait, I just want them
Oh
to
my
see.
gosh, that just screams. That's so cool. Look at that. Oh wow. I'm so glad you did that.
I just didn't think they'd know. If they
Okay,
didn't
so
know.
no, this is great. This now I'm going to take a moment and talk about materials science here.
Yeah.
The reason that these ampersand boards just rock is that right now you can see as she holds that
Artist
angle.
panel.
Yeah, it's an artist panel, and this is a gesso board artist panel.
I'm gonna while you're close up on it, I'm gonna back up over here and or take her in and
Yeah.
admire my handiwork. I'm loving her so much.
The reflective nature of that panel is what makes these colors scream like this. And this is just one of those cool things. I'm loving it. So anyway, you guys, I have enjoyed seeing this. I don't know about you. Everyone else, yes, everyone's out there in chat going, bam, wow, awesome, woohoo. This was pretty good. I enjoyed
By
this.
the way, anyone else notice that the flowers in my hair?
I remember earlier when you were painting the flowers up at the top, I was making the joke, are you talking about your hair? And you were like, no.
And I
You were
mean,
deep in
you can
flowers.
take her further. I could take her further.
I know.
Further. If you've got her on a big canvas, spend 6 months on her. Don't worry about it.
Now, we will take a photo of her right here. Cinnamon has been known to go back and continue to work on these.
No, I have it. We talked about it if we did a calendar.
Yeah,
That
we're
I
talking
would go
about
back in
it maybe. I don't know.
to take them to that next level. But for today,
Not today.
today
Not today.
I will add her finished photo to the albums on Facebook. In the Big Art Quest. Definitely go by the website and check out your favorite quests and add your paintings
Yeah.
to your favorite video and let us know how that comment feature is working for you.
And believe me, if you guys, that's going to be a good feature to pay attention to. More cool stuff's going to happen there.
And remember, sign up for the
Notifications.
The nominifications.
Yep. In the
So-
link down the description below.
That you don't miss shenanigans like this.
Yeah.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow for the Purple Pixie. Bye-bye. This will really see.